Definitely have expected sOo to at least show up a bit better, but...
Well, we'll find out which player shows up tonight, Valdez, as they face off in a battle to the death of their races in their games. As we get into this. Yeah, I was trying to hype it up. I was like, cool, I might have gone a little bit too far.
It's good to go far sometimes. And guys, the game is ready, so let's jump on to Odyssey for game number 1 of our StarCraft tonight.
If you do have to go too far, you know how you should do it? In Jin Air. I'm okay to plug that sponsor because it literally is on the screen. So,
yeah.
Big fan of Jin Air, and also a big fan of this guy, our Protoss player tonight, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, playing for Jin Air Green Wings. It's sOs.
And his buddy up in the top left, it is sOo, the purple Zerg. These guys are not friends tonight.
No,
as they're going to be butting heads here on this map, Odyssey, to start.
A gateway expand, Valdez.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? I don't know. Speaking of memes, this is a PvZ, and this matchup has been kind of defined lately by a build that Classic has really innovated. And leave it to Classic, one of the most innovative Protosses out there. And of course, sOs for being a cheesy word that I can't say on stream, because he is very innovative in his own right. And I feel like what Classic...
Cheesy SOB.
Ah, SOS.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god, the anacronyms. No, that's a cross between an anachronism and an acronym. Whoa! Yeah, as far as Classic's build, it's 3 Stargate Oracle. We've seen, I think the phrase that best describes that is often imitated, never duplicated. Lots of players have tried that. In fact, even as recently as this week's Ballistics Brawl, Classic tried it versus Rogue 3 times in a row, and it failed every time because Rogue has figured that build out. And I think a lot of Zergs got to their Skype group and they're just like, whoa, how do you beat this? And they all theory crafted, and they got it down.
No doubt.
So I would actually not expect to see that build here from sOs, but of course you never know what to expect from this guy.
Yeah, I was expecting something a little bit crazy, even to start, especially considering the builds he has been pulling out, the double robos against Terran, the crazy chargelet all-ins that he has been doing. But so far, everything does look normal. We'll see if things do switch it up. sOo going for a pretty fast third base, which will now be spotted by sOs.
Yeah, and this is where you throw down the cannons right outside range. No, we're not going to see that. Actually, if you do see a Zerg player that builds their spawning pool way off to the side, you actually cannon outside the creep after it's done. I had that happen to me.
That's a dank build, man. That is
I was trying to
ridiculous.
fill out my war chest earlier on this week, and that happened to me when I was trying out Zerg. It did not work out very well for me.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it was indeed quite painful. So
we could have DTs here.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing. And in fact, we'll have to watch. Now, usually this is thrown down in a proxy location somewhere across the map, but instead it looks like the possibility of a charge all-in.
Here we go again. I don't know what to expect whenever I watch this guy.
The crucial flaw in this build is that this time sOs didn't take both gold expansions, so he could get 50 charge lots and run in and die.
You're right.
Now, see,
he messed up.
What happened is, Valdez, he did that in week 1. Then we come back after a 1-month break, and he's like, they'll never see it coming again. When you dig down in your bag of builds, you come up with the crusty cheese at the bottom.
Ooh. That's the best part, the tastiest part.
Or
all
the
of that
worst,
cheese.
depending on which end of the cheese you're on.
That's true. But yeah, this is going to be charge lots to start. I don't know if this will be an all-in.
Yeah, we haven't seen that.
Oh,
okay, there's the Dark Shrine. So
okay.
We decided to upgrade charge for the Dark Archons that he'll build. No, I'm just making up things here.
I wonder if he'll go for spore snipes and try to catch sOo not going lair. But we already have the lair.
And snipe the spore.
Yeah.
And then the DT
you warp
comes
in DTs as the follow-up.
Yeah, but I mean, all this tech is going to take so long that there are going to be overseers out, right?
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Maybe he would catch sOo being ultra greedy, not getting the lair. Do the Michael Jordan,
jump up into the air and dunk the Overseer. No more detection. You win the game.
I love that movie.
Big fan.
That was spotted, by the way. sOo knows about this.
Yeah.
He's making roaches. He will have the correct tech.
He even saw what was put into that, so not just the Warp Prism. It's like, okay, well, there are charge slots on the way.
He's making 2 extra spores, too.
He's like, you know what really defends against lots of zealots? Spore
Spores.
crawlers. No, but to be fair, I'm glad that there is a lot of detection here. And in fact, sOo might be doing this as a sort of preemptive way of dealing with mass oracles that could be a transition after this. Unfortunately, we're not doing oracles today. We're running our charge lots right into roaches and queens. Look at this.
What
Look
are
at these
we
charge
watching?
lots go. Look
What
at those
is
roaches.
Okay. I mean, that's just never going to work.
We're witnessing the death of a human here, Valdez. Or at least many, many zealots.
We'll see how the DTs do. He already does have an Overseer and 3 Spore
Yeah,
Crawlers.
it turns out if you can't, run in and snipe. Okay, here we go. Sorry, man. You can do nothing.
sOo is so ready for this too. You really gotta admire. I know we're kind of joking about SOS here, but you gotta admire sOo's consistency, right?
And SOS.
This is how you win consistently, actually, in games.
SOS has no units that shoot air, so he can't kill the Overlord. That's creep blocking.
He's making
his
an
third.
Archon.
He can't kill the Overlord.
Oh, this poor guy.
This is so ludicrous. He's going to try to go in there. He's actually making 2 Archons, but they're not going to be to... Actually, did he make one back at home? I don't think so. Maybe he'll just warp in Stalkers to clear that, because eventually he's going to want to get another base there. Because you do want to expand behind this, otherwise you just kind of have nothing. So...
Looks like he overcharged.
And somehow that killed the Overlord.
Yeah.
Surprise. Okay, well, here come the Archons. They should be decently good at dealing with everything that's out there. 8 more roaches on the way, though. We see no more drones in production, at least for the time being. So sOo might have a very powerful roach speed timing after this. There's one sneaky drone getting in there, but might be a potential for aggression afterwards.
Liking the splitting up of sOo's army, he's got everything in position at all times. Finally, we got something that hits air. It's the Sentry.
Build those sentries, man. That's how you get rid of oracles. They protect, they also attack.
Yeah, as you guys can see. They're just shining the Sentry bat signal up to that Overlord. The Overlord's getting scared and running away.
Yeah, that's about how the how it do.
That is how it do.
Yeah.
In fact, we do have a bunch of roaches being made, and we could see sOo get a bit aggressive here. He's not making a 4th base. He's just making as many roaches and ravagers as humanly possible.
I'm just so disappointed both of these gold bases went untaken. Once you cast that one series where SOS does it, you just expect it all the time.
This is definitely sOo's style, like another Zerg, he would hold it off and immediately plop down a 4th base and begin teching up. sOo's like, nah, I'm just going to kill you. I'm just going to walk across the map and kill you. We don't need to extend this game. I don't need to give you extra chances to do damage with your drops. I'm just going to go make a bunch of roaches and kill you. So there's only one Immortal on the map, I think.
I think there's one on the way. Maybe there is one on the map.
I think he made one already.
Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay, 2 out and 2 Archons as well. But like
charge slots, 15 charge slots.
15!
And he has a bunch of sentries to lock his army in with the roaches so he can die a little bit faster.
No, to be fair, force fields are actually very good against roaches. However, Corrosive Bile does chew through the force fields and allow you to get through there. A couple more Archons in the process of being morphed. You can actually just Corrosive Bile those, yeah.
Oh, he's trying to push him!
He's not microing against the Corrosive Biles at all. Those are nice force fields, to be fair. They do cut off several of the roaches, but I mean, the Bile
they do look pretty.
The Biles just go right over top of it.
These T's warped in. I don't see an Overseer with this.
Oh, wow, there's no Overseer.
Oh, man. There it is. Okay.
He instantly has to turn around.
I was going to say, like, we don't want to have a creator versus Zest moment.
Oh, we saw that in week 2. I think it was...
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, where DTs just pop out and there's nothing to detect them. They just push the entire army back. So, yeah, the entire front, including that Cybernetics core, is going to get taken all the way down. These Immortals just cannot stand up against the massive amount of Roach Ravager. And the numbers are thinning here, thanks to those DTs a little bit, but it's just not enough. sOo walks across the map. F2A.
Yeah.
Click.
He defends and then he attacks. He doesn't expand, he doesn't tech up, he just makes as many roaches and ravagers as possible and just kills you because you're doing something weird. And this is kind of what I expected from this series, right? SOS goes for a weird build, a weird timing. Doesn't really work out because sOo's defense is so good, and then he just kills him. So
So
I'm expecting a similar game too.
Well, you can always kind of see that thought process from SOS, right? You're like, okay, well, you kind of got a basic idea. As you're developing your build order, you're like, okay, well, maybe I build the charge lots, I run in, kill the detection, and then the DTs come in. And you're like, okay, well, you know, this makes sense initially. And then he runs his charge lots right into roaches and they all die. I'm like, I don't know, guys.
Sure about that one.
That was a little bit of a thinking emoji play right there. But
the only thing he really could have done better is if he warped in his zealots not underneath an overlord. Like if he just warped it in secretly, tried to go around and not be as greedy, just going directly to the third base, maybe even go straight for a drop in the main and just go directly for the heart. I think that might have worked out a little bit better because sOo, he already had the Ro.4 out, and the second you see those zealots coming, you say, okay, he's going for some weird timing with, 3-4 gates, trying to, kill me at my third base. I just need to make units. So, again, StarCraft, a game of limited information. If you hide that from sOo, maybe he plays it greedy. Maybe he makes like 55 drones and he dies. So.
I was watching an AI demonstration earlier on today and trying to use games that do provide you with that limited information and seeing how well AI do with that. In fact, with the open API for StarCraft 2, it's going to be exciting to see what players that are this good do against the AI of the future. Dealing with that limited information, how do you process it? Well, it turns out mere mortals sometimes don't make the correct decisions there in SOS. Getting everything scouted, perfect defense from sOo, and he'll take game number 1.
So here we go, guys. Game number 2 will be on Newkirk Precinct. Let's fly better fly over to that map, as you would say, Rapid.
How close are these maps that it takes us only this long to do?
That's the Jin Air airplane, man. You go really fast on those
Indeed,
things.
you can. We load up our players into the Jin Air airplane. This one is SOS, because he's pretty used to flying on Jin Air.
Yeah, he is on their team after all. And down here in the bottom left, it is sOo, part of Team SSL.
As are we all, right?
Yeah.
So here comes a cheeky probe coming out. We'll be able to block the expansion.
No forge. I'm disappointed, SOS.
Will he be there in time? I think that probe's in time. No, it's just a little bit too slow.
This is going to be close.
Whoa, just barely. I actually thought that was in time. Oh well. sOo does plant down his hatchery. The probe will get in and scout everything that's not happening.
Yeah, and that's a little bit unfortunate. Want to get over there on time and just check out and try to block that hatchery. Block that hatchery. Especially, so you force him into a weird third base location because potentially you could even block the other third base up at the top side of the map.
Right.
And then you force him to expand closer to you, and then maybe you go for a follow-up timing. But
oh boy. Well, Gateway Expand, pretty classic opening. I think this is basically the build you see out of Protoss's every game versus Zerg, but what could come off after this is pretty exciting. Newkirk Precinct is a map that oftentimes gets split in half, so you have these very long matches. But could be very exciting. That's my expert analysis there, Brendan.
And, it goes like...
That's how it goes. I've watched it. I've practiced.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you prepared that for today.
I did, just for today. So
that's a pylon.
Indeed it is. So it could be for hiding some cheeky Techerino over there. One other option for Newkirk is that because the bases are relatively close by air, you can go for that triple Stargate build. Go into Oracles.
Do it.
But I actually don't think we're going to see that build maybe at all today. There's another series later on that we'll get a chance to watch. I think our final series of the night.
Yeah.
Zest versus Rogue. But if there's one player that you really don't want to do that Stargate play against, it would be Rogue because he has figured it out. Maybe Zest knows that. Maybe he doesn't.
Well, I hope he knows because I think he would probably get bopped if he did it against Rogue, as we were talking about. And this is going to be the key Overlord. He's trying to go into the back.
Will he
It's
make
pretty
it all
slow.
the way? There's a Stalker being built. This is that sad Stalker that has to be built and constructed, not warped in. It's building. It's building.
It's still building.
It's still building, yeah.
It's almost ready.
It's like the slowest to build soccer. They have to literally
he's gonna see
the technology.
this.
Yeah,
100%.
There's nothing to stop.
Oh!
Whoa.
Where are you going, sOo?
Is he really not going to scout that?
I think he is. One more?
Yeah, there we go. All right. But he doesn't really know what's happening because of that. Now, he's going to see it spinning. Maybe that's Blink. Maybe it's Glaives. Maybe it's just for DTs. But one thing that sOo has always been very touted for is his ability to defend. BL was also very well known for that until, I don't know, Fire Nation attacked BL's builds or something.
Yeah.
So for sOo, very good at defending. We saw that in game number 1. And I wouldn't expect to see anything different. He is still going to go for the Ro.4, and a lot of times you'll see Zergs try to skip that. I feel like that's a little bit greedy, but it's a great way to defend and get yourself through the mid game.
That it is. The Roaches will eventually come out here for sOo to take that third base a little bit more safely this time around. He didn't rush it out after the natural, as he did in game number 1. SOS, he's actually going to make a third base on a normal timing here. What is this out of SOS? This is not the Protoss we know and love. Where's the weird timing?
No,
Why doesn't he go attack him?
Is this
That's what we're waiting for. Where's the SOS
build?
attack?
Egads, this is maybe not exactly what you expect. We've seen plenty of adept all-ins from SOS, especially versus Zerg, and this is not one of them. He is going to go out there, charge up behind this. This is a normal tech path.
I know, what is this?
He built his buildings in his base. Oh my. So yeah, this is maybe a futile attempt, but it should at least be able to shade in and maybe get some drone kills with this. Could actually turn around, stop the shade, and kill that Roach, but yeah, he's not going to shade in there. Just going to get the scouting information. The Zerglings won't be able to deal with all of those Glaive updated adepts. Upgraded.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go for that shade, actually. That's a very SOS thing to do. You see him do that a lot, trading adepts for drones, like all the time. Whenever he can, basically. But because he's on the normal path.
Oh, there we go. I don't know if that's necessarily a normal path, but a bunch more gateways coming up. A big explosion. This is going to kick into macro mode off these 3 bases.
Yeah, I think, you know, he's still making probes here, so not going to be super all in, but definitely will have a decent attack on the way with the Archons and the charge lots.
Yeah, so no obtuse builds, no acute builds, just straight up macro.
Only 90-degree angles here.
Yeah,
on this stream.
nothing but the most 90-degree of angles here. There is one sick pylon that if it does get sniped will take out a bunch of tech, but it's in a pretty rough place to do that. So not going to see Mutalisks out of sOo. 100% promise you that. Watch him start the mutas right now. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be
he doesn't even have a Spire. I'm pretty safe for that
call.
But he is looking super solid back
Drops
at home.
a Spire.
I think he's even built those Spore Colonies, or Spore Crawlers. Ugh, too much remaster. Yeah, back at home, so he is just super, super safe. Tons of defense. He's going to surround the Adepts and take them out. Oh my god, sOo just never skipping a beat.
We'll see if SOS can get some damage done with this. Looks like he wants to Archon drop while distracting with some throwaway Zealots.
30 Zerglings on the way. To be fair, this mass amount of Zerglings, we did have a bunch of Roaches earlier. This kind of plays into SOS's army composition. He's got stuff that just does really well against it.
We got the warp in.
Yeah, there it is. A lot of charge lots in the base. Of course, they are running right in to the Zerglings that'll take them out. So even though there's Archons to back them up, and those will get a lot of damage done, I think there should just be way too much here to defend.
Yeah, again, the Zealots are kind of just thrown away. They take an okay trade. Here's a bunch of Banelings. These Zealots aren't going to last all too long. They do kill the Queen, though.
Yeah, the Queen blocked, though, so everything got taken out. He's going to try to warp in, but the way you're supposed to play this is warping in as you run into the front at the same time, split the Zerg army apart, and then you get too much value. Unfortunately, for SOS, he's trying to do one at a time. He warps in the main, that gets taken out. He runs in the front, that gets taken out by the Banelings. Now he's trying to warp into the main while a single Stalker runs across the map. I don't know about that. And even this warp in should force a drone pull, but I think it's just going to get taken out.
F2 moment for sure.
That
Stalker that was blocking the front, actually.
Yeah, he just F2s. I just need more stuff here. Maybe I've got it somewhere out there.
This is surprisingly. Okay, well, actually, never mind. This is going to be cleaned up. He stops the drop. I thought he was going to get another warp in the main, and I was going to say, okay, this is kind of getting out of control.
He's like, what?
But he can get 3 warp-ins, but it was only 2, and he did lose all of his Zealots.
And now sOo has a 4th base up. You're not really going to be able to do too much against that. There's a Warp Prism that's going to harass, but I don't really think that'll do all that much. And sOo has held once again, Valdez.
Yeah, very nicely done. You can
noticed?
tell that he's expecting aggression out of SOS, and he's preparing in kind. He's like, okay, I could just defend here and win in a macro game. I like that. It's kind of like the strategy where we're like, you know, he could just back off, he could just macro, and we say that, and a bunch of players decide not to. They decide to do other things, but soo's the guy that will listen to our advice. He's like, yeah, you know, I think I should just play a macro game against SOS. Like other Zerg players would just be like, no, I'm gonna cheese him. Like, no, you don't cheese the cheeser. You try to out macro the cheeser.
Absolutely. So behind this, after a bunch of failed aggression, SOS will try to expand. Unfortunately, sOo knows exactly what's coming his way, cancels the 4th base, and is really just not going to let him ever take that. There's 30 Zerglings out on the map, and as long as those just hang out around any 3rd base location, keep running around, and it should actually force a cancel on this 3rd base as well, if he checks it. Yeah,
looks like SOS is in good position this time as well with his units. These Zealots just being annoying, targeting down a couple of probes, and then will fall. I think attacking right now is not a good idea for SOS.
Well, in general,
I think sOo just has so much
down,
stuff. Yeah, I think you just sit back and try to get stormed,
I think he just dies here. Yeah, he's going to force field to try to take a good trade, but he's going to corrosive bile through and run straight at his face. Yep, no, everything will die here, Brendan.
Oh, this is pretty rough. There's a bunch of Immortals, but again, just a little bit too much stuff here from sOo, and I think he just had to stay home and play defensive. His moving out is not going to work out for him, as his drop is also thwarted. He realizes now that he had to be back at home and gets back to the overcharges, but is going to lose 1 extra Immortal.
4 overcharges.
Well,
no, you know, not like this. No,
desperate times called for desperate measures. He gets the cancel there at least.
Oh yeah, nothing was ever going to happen there. Maybe you shouldn't have even just wasted time, just run up straight up into the main. SOS, or sOo rather, doesn't really have to even kill SOS right now, as long as he can limit that 4th base. The main is totally mined out at this point, so there's really just nowhere else that SOS can go. If at some point he had taken like the sickest proxy location somewhere, maybe that's how he comes back into this. But not only is that not the case, neither is any other imaginable fictitious reality in which SOS can win this game.
Well, if he drops a ton and sOo botches an attack, there is a small chance. But as you said,
dropping
it's a very small chance.
Is SOS's supply right now.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, look at that, Valdez.
He's trying to get another base. Big mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. A terrible mistake. He does kill off the rocks. So it's like, okay, well, I'm protected from that angle. Unfortunately, there's probably just enough banelings to run through the rocks as well.
I don't think he does.
He does have that 1 High Templar, Valdez.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
It's dead now, though. That's a little bit unfortunate.
A single tear shed for the dearly departed.
It's a lot of Ravagers and actually a very expensive Protoss army.
Oh yeah, Archon Immortal is no joke. Like that is serious business.
Ooh, the Banelings though coming in from behind, and that should spell the end of this one. All those high-tech units are going to be eventually taken out, and GG is called. Gonna wait for that last Immortal to die first, and sOo will take that pretty easy 2-0 victory.
Wow, yeah. I gotta say, we get to see Sexy Boy play later on in Rogue, but I think the VSL segment on sOo was called him Dirty Sexy sOo. There's some pretty dirty, sexy wins.
They really were. I mean, those are very satisfying to watch, right?
You know,
especially if you're a Zerg player, just like sit back, defend perfectly, macro up, destroy him by swinging the hammer. It's like,
if you Zerg players can't beat Protoss, just play like sOo. Yeah, just defend perfectly all the time.
I think it's a good idea.
So /r/Korean advice, I think, is the subreddit for that one.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's going to do it for our first series, guys. We've got 3 more coming up, so don't go anywhere. Be right back after a 2-minute commercial.